Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, July the 27th. Race number 8 at Colonial Downs. It's the $150,000 Colonial Cup. Carded as race number 8. 3 turns, mile and a half on the turf. Let's take a look at this field. Want to view free Formulator past performances for this race? Head to the Race of the Day page at DRF.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel and bet this card with DRF Bets. Scan the QR code for Race of the Day access on your mobile device. Colonial's Monday card canceled due to the oppressive heat. They've moved it to Wednesday. The Colonial Cup still has a very competitive full field. It should be a good betting race.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't even know if I could say who the horse to beat is, Dan. I mean, I guess it's the morning line favorite, Cellist, the number 8. He certainly ran well last time, but this race feels like it's pretty wide open.
Not only is it wide open, it doesn't appear to be a lot of speed. We throw up the Timeform US pace projector, and Timeform US landed on Royne, a horse that did show speed going a mile 2 starts back, but came off the pace when stretched out last time out. Maybe the 5 Nathan Detroit will show some speed stretching out in distance. It's hard to imagine this race being run at a fast clip.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be fast. I don't know if the 1's going to be up on the lead, Dan, but he could certainly be closer this time. If nothing else, he's exiting an 11 furlong race last month that just featured a really, really fast pace.
But you get the feeling that maybe that's what Royne's been waiting for his entire career, stretching all the way out in distance. He had shown a lot of ability for trainer Michael Dickinson in his first few races off the recent layoff, but he wasn't able to put things together. Let's watch this last start at Laurel, June the 26th, entry-level allowance race. The pace was fast, and he's just cruising in behind horses. He's going to get to the outside, and he's just going to win very easily.
Yeah, he's just going to gallop over the top of these horses without his rider ever asking him really to do anything, Dan. He did have a good trip in here. The pace was fast in front of him, but he always traveled well in this race. He wins as easy as you want to see him win. I sort of agree with you. I feel like maybe he was just waiting to stretch out a little bit. And, he's just one of those horses. I always thought he was going to be good. Even going back to the end of 2020 when he debuted, he looked like he had a lot of potential. Just took him forever to get there.
And that race 2 starts back going a mile, I think, showed that he was on the right track because the pace wasn't color-coded fast according to Timeform US, but that race for the most part went to closers, and he was the only part of the pace still hanging around at the end against a good horse. Audacious Quality came back, had a tough trip in the fines, and then came back and galloped in an allowance race. Royne looks like he's on his way. You rarely see horses win at a mile and 3/8 like he did. It looked like a morning breeze. The number 2 is Snap Decision, and Snap Decision is not raced on the flat in, 4 years? He's one of the better steeplechase horses in the country. Group 1 winner earlier this year. I don't know what to get. Is he prepping for something at Saratoga?
I don't know. I thought for sure we'd see him at Saratoga over hurdles. They're going to come back to the main track. I guess, there was a time when he was a pretty talented flat horse. I don't know. Does this move ever work, Dan?
It doesn't work that often, and certainly I haven't seen it work in stakes competition in a very long time, but you're right. This horse was graded placed on the flat back in 2017, and he is in very good form over the hurdles. It should be a nice price in this race. I don't want to knock him too much, but the distance isn't going to be a problem. It might even be a little bit short for him at this point in his career. The 3 is Always Above. He raced on the turf 2 starts back, and he got a big pace to run at Churchill Downs, going a distance of ground, rolled by everybody to win. He's very lightly raced. He has a lot of upside, but as a horse eligible for an hours or 2 life, this is a big hike in class.
It is. Listen, the best race he ever ran was a mile and 3/8 on the turf 2 starts back. A lot of things went his way that day, but he also, took a pretty big step forward. So maybe that's a really good sign for this horse. He's going to be a great price if you like him.
If the 4 Red Knight can reach back into the Wayback Machine, he's got a very, very good chance to win this race because back in 2020, he was an excellent marathoner. He was a graded stakes winner, but he only ran a handful of times last year against some tough competition. We haven't seen him, though, since the John's Call at Saratoga last summer, where he was kind of wide on the backstretch, 4 wide, 5 path, made a brief bid on the 3rd turn, and then he flattened out very badly.
Yeah, that was pretty disappointing. Not without some excuses, but still pretty disappointing. Only 5 starts last year, most of them on turf with a little bit of give in it, which, maybe just at his advanced age, he just doesn't like anymore. I mean, on the go back, he was fine with that kind of stuff. But as these horses get older, sometimes they change their preferences. He did run on firm turf in the Great D Louisville last year. I thought he ran really well in that race, and it shows that he's still capable on his best day.
First time for Michael Maker, getting Lasix back on. And again, he was in against very good competition. His race in the Bowling Green, even with some give on it, probably puts him right in the mix here. A 94 Beyer speed figure broke slow against the likes of Cross Border and Rock Emperor. And the horse that beat him last time, Serve the King, came back to run second in the Joe Hirsch, a grade 1 with a 100 Beyer. Nathan Detroit is up next. This horse was part of a pretty quick pace. I thought that pace was fast considering the condition of the turf course that day, and the race did go to closers. English Tavern was disqualified. And Nathan Detroit was taking a step up in class now, and now he's taking a big step up in distance. He is bred to go this long.
He is bred to go this long. He just has an awful lot to prove. I think even in a race like this, Dan, where there's not a bunch of killers in here, but it's a pretty good field, and he's never run a race that's really going to beat this field. He's going to have to really appreciate the distance and show that he can handle the hike up in class.
I've always waited for the 6 Baker's Bay to finally put together and come up with a big effort, and I'm not sure it's ever going to happen because he's now 6 years old. He's only had 14 starts, and it just seems like every time he runs, then there's a big gap with a layoff line. And against Gouffo last time out in the Pan Am, didn't do much running that day, but the race did produce 2 horses that performed triple-digit Beyer speed figures in their subsequent starts. One of these days for Baker's Bay.
I mean, we agree about him on that regard, Dan. I thought there was a chance he could turn out to be pretty good. It is Shug McGahee. He tends to get these horses better as time goes on. I don't know how much more time you can give this horse, though.
The 7 Another Mystery is a very versatile horse, graded stakes winner in his seasonal debut, going 1.5 miles at Sam Houston. He was just too much for this field, going a flat mile at Hawthorne against fellow Illinois breds. He was very patiently ridden at the back of the pack. He just waited for a seam. He follows the horse in front of him, the number 2's cover. He's going to get a seam. The trip worked out very, very well for Another Mystery. He's in good form. I like him at various distances. His running style could work against him if there's no pace because he's really a closer.
Yeah, he is a closer. I did like this performance. It was just a really good spot for him to sort of get him back on track. I can't say that I loved his Louisville 2 starts back then. I know that there wasn't a lot of pace in there. I still didn't think that he ran that well in there, but I did like his Elkhorn. I did like his Connolly back in January, even though he had a great setup that day. I mean, he's got races in him that would make him really, really tough in this race.
Cellist did win the Louisville and is your morning line favorite. Julien Leperoux up for Rusty Arnold. Scored last time out despite a wide trip. He was basically 4 wide entering the 3rd turn, was very game to win that race. And I like that Rusty gave him some time because it seemed like a tough effort over a turf course that's had all sorts of problems all spring and into the summer. He's relatively lightly raced, Mike. I think you could argue he still has a little bit upside.
Yeah, I would argue that. And it does sort of feel like, these longer distances are really good for this horse. He showed some ability as a 3-year-old, feels like he's improved as a 4-year-old. I liked his Louisville win just fine last time, and he's got great tactical speed, Dan, so it feels like he's going to get a great trip in this race.
Although the 9, the Happy Giant in your lifetime box in the DRF is 3 for 25. He only's run once on the flat, 2 wins over the hurdles. That was last time out, at least, to Colonial, going 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. Distance shouldn't be an issue for him. I'm just worried about class. I'm worried about pace.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about all those things as well. I think if you're going to take one of the horses moving over to the flats from the hurdles, you're going to take Snap Decision.
The 10 is La Lune. This is a mare taking on the boys. Not really too concerned about that. She's here because she wants distance. She was 3rd in the Kirtana last time out, finishing ahead of a mare that would come back to run 2nd in a stake at Ellis Park with an 88 Beyer speed figure. She's not that bad. She just needs to improve a little bit on speed figures, but she's got the tactical speed to work out a trip.
Yeah, she has shown more tactical speed. That's definitely a good thing for her. I didn't quite think she was good enough. I also didn't think she was a great price on the morning line. But listen, distance is a great equalizer, and she likes distance.
Bluegrass Parkway, the 11, a bit of an in-and-outer for Michael Maker, a stakes winner at Ellis Park last summer. And then last time out, first start off about a 6.5-month layoff, was dangled in for a 62.5 tag. Now, didn't do much running that day, but you could argue he certainly needed the race at Belmont Park. Can do better second off the layoff, has a couple of back races. I wish he ran a little better last time.
I do too. I know it was a layoff, but man, if you were going to, sort of show up off a layoff and find the right race, that might have been it. The horse that won it paid over $90. He just wasn't very good in there. He has the really nice stakes win at Ellis Park last August, but that was a perfect setup for this horse. They went a wicked pace in front of him, and he closed it down. He has no speed, Dan, and this race might not set up well for him.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for all the latest DRFTV video offerings. Top pick time for Wednesday's Colonial Cup. You're going with Royne. He's probably found what he wants. That's a 1 3/8. And again, go back and watch that replay in your free Formulator past performances, folks. So impressive. Just cruising by everybody.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's the case because I just want to take a little shot with him in here. I have Cellist second. I kind of think he's the horse to beat in here. I don't know how short a price I want on him. I'm gonna give Royne one more chance in here, Dan, because I've been waiting for this horse to turn out to be good for a while.
I feel the same way about Cellist as you do. Another mystery has been in very, very good form. The only bad race came over that turf course at Churchill Downs. A lot of horses didn't seem to like it. Maybe he just didn't like it. I think if he gets some pace to run at, he's going to come with a kick. I really respect the Chris Block operation. Mike's going Royne. I'm going another mystery. It's Wednesday's race of the day at Colonial Downs. Best of luck.